This is the third COP I've been able to attend. And this one in Egypt was, I think, certainly the most promising and the most optimistic.
Representative Suzanne Bonamici is back from the COP27 United Nations Climate Change Conference, and she's feeling good. That's largely because of some recent legislative wins that will help combat climate change. She pointed to the Inflation Reduction Act and the bipartisan infrastructure bill as historic investments in carbon reduction. The focus of this year's global conference has been on the loss and damage caused by climate change, specifically in less developed countries. One of the key questions has been what kind of obligations richer countries, like the U.S., have to our poorer neighbors. As just one example, flooding in Pakistan earlier this year killed more than 1,000 people, and millions of people lost their homes. Many of them remain displaced.
They rightly are concerned about the larger countries like the United States, of course, China, Russia, India, not doing enough to curb the climate crisis.
I asked Representative Earl Blumenauer what he thinks our role is in addressing the impacts of climate change around the world.
The United States has been the second largest emitter of carbon in history, and the countries that are bearing the brunt of this have really emitted very little carbon, and they don't have the resources.
Blumenauer said there was much more the U.S. could do with international aid and changes to policy with the International Monetary Fund.
It's in our self-interest. If we don't help these countries reduce their carbon and to deal with the very real loss and damage they've inflicted, it's going to unsettle the global security, and it's going to be harder for them to make progress. We cannot allow the poor countries to continue to pay the price for us.
These conferences usually end with commitments from member nations, like the Paris Climate Accords, and the end results of this conference remain to be seen. But Blumenauer said one thing was clear.
Ultimately, we all have to make progress or we're all going to cook.
So the conference is set to wrap up on Friday, and there will be a lot of interested people, both in this country and around the world, waiting to see what happens. Brittany?